Samantha Finnegan. I'm a nutritionist from New Jersey, and I'm going to show you a lot of new ways to create healthy plates. We're going to use fruits, vegetables, and a lot of fresh ingredients. Let's get started. For today's recipe, we're going to be making a spicy salsa, and we're always going to pair our recipes with a Side-a-Bai. For today's bai, we have Malawi Mango, and what's the perfect thing to make with that? A mango salsa. Let's see what we need. We're going to need 3 mangoes, the juice of a lime, a red onion, 2 tomatoes, 1 tomatillo, a bunch of fresh cilantro, and a jalapeno. But don't worry, we're not using the whole thing. It's going to be great. It's going to hit every part of your palate. It's going to be sweet and juicy from the mangoes. It's going to get a little kick of spice from that jalapeno, and the cilantro is really going to add a freshness to it. Before you begin any new recipe, you want to make sure of 2 things. Your hands are clean and your food is clean. Once that's done, you're all set. So we're going to start with the mango because they can be a little bit tricky. Not a lot of people use them all the time and you might not know how to cut it, so I'm going to show you the easiest way to get most of the flesh out of there. So you can just cut a slice off like this. There's a big pit in the middle if you're not familiar with mango, so sometimes you can get a good clean slice off. And you want to cut it and almost make like a tic-tac-toe or a checkerboard. So you're going to cut it length and then flip it and cut it lengthways this way too. So then you can turn it inside out and you can kind of see it pops out and you can get all of that good fruit and good flesh in there. So now that we have 2 sides that we can pop out, we can cut this off and add it to our bowl. I got some of our salsa started just to save time for you. Like I said before, you're going to use 3 mangoes. And it's always good to have either a bowl or a paper towel next to you in your workspace so you can just put your garbage there and worry about it later. And it keeps it nice and clean. Now it's time for the tomatillo. Tomatillos are green tomatoes. They're used a lot in Mexican cuisine. I like them in salsas because they give a nice bite to it. It's a little bit different than a tomato tastes. They have smaller seeds, even a little bit sour, but when you taste it, you'll be able to tell. So we're going to dice it nice and small, a little bit smaller than we did to our mangoes, and add it to our bowl. So that was our 1 tomatillo. And I've started our tomatoes as well, so I just have this 1/2 left. And we're going to do the same thing. Just dice it. You can really make it as chunky or as smooth as you want. If you wanted to make it even more like a puree that you see in a restaurant, you could throw it in a food processor or a blender. That's a good thing about cooking and using fresh foods. You can really do whatever you want. And it becomes more fun that way. Okay, now we're done with all our tomatoes. On for the real flavor. Our red onion. I like to use red onion because I think it has a stronger flavor and it's a little bit sweeter. But you can use any onion you have in your house. If you want to use white, if you want to use Vidalia, it's really up to you. Again, in the beginning I said we could use a whole onion, but it depends on if you like onion. I like onion, so I'm going to use a lot. I'm going to dice that nice and small and add it to my bowl. The next thing is our jalapeno. And this is definitely based on your preference. What you want to do though is take the seeds out. Depending if you like it spicy or not, it's best to just take them out because that is really what packs the punch. So you want to de-seed your jalapeno, and I'm going to use just 1/4 of it because personally I don't like it too spicy, but again, up to you. I'm going to dice it nice and small, so maybe I only get it every couple of bites and not overwhelmed. That's perfect, just enough. It smells delicious. I wish you all could be here to smell it with me, but when you make it for yourself, you will see what I'm talking about. And the next thing is our cilantro. I use a big portion of cilantro because it's one of my favorite spices to use, and I love it. It's just a fresh herb, and it really makes it seem a lot cleaner. Even if you're making a recipe and it's not completely whole, or maybe you've used something that's store-bought or packaged, adding fresh herbs is always a good thing to kind of give it that homemade feel. Perfect. And the last thing that you want to do is sprinkle it with some lime juice. We're going to use half of the lime today. And I'm just going to add it into the bowl. That adds another element of freshness. So once you mix it all up, get it all incorporated, you are ready to eat it. A great thing about sweet and spicy salsas is you can really pair it with anything. What I have for us today, you can use veggie sticks or some whole wheat pitas, crackers, or tortillas, whatever you like. Even put it on top of your fish. The great thing about this recipe, it is completely vegan, gluten-free, nut-free, allergen-free, so it's safe for everybody to eat, just like our bai. And don't forget, when you're having your recipe, have your Side-a-Bai.